Hi, boys and girls. It's Mrs. Gaynor here. We are continuing learning about our community helpers, and today's focus is going to be on nurses. Now, nurses serve in many different places. They serve in hospitals and in our school buildings. Today, we're going to learn about the important role that they play in our community. Let's take a look at our book today. Here we are in a hospital, and we are passing by a nurse's station. Each hospital has a nurse station in which the nurses report back to the computers after checking in with patients, record the information that they took. Nurses really are an important part of our community. Let's learn why. Today is called Hooray for Nurses. Once again, boys and girls, this is a non-fiction book. It is giving us real facts and information about nurses. Nurses keep us healthy. Nurses help keep people healthy. They work with doctors. So we see here in the picture on the left that the man is the doctor. The nurse is pushing the patient. And I can tell which is the difference between a doctor and a nurse in this particular picture because the doctor is wearing a white coat. And sometimes that is normally symbolic of a doctor title. So we can see here how all the doctor and the nurse work together to help the patient or the person who's not feeling good. Nurses work in hospitals. They help patients. Patients are sick or hurt people. So here we have a male nurse helping a little girl who is sick, a patient who is not feeling well. Some nurses care for new babies. These nurses help new mothers too. Why might new mothers need a nurse's help? So this is an important question. When mothers have babies for the first time, sometimes they are not sure of how to wrap the baby or how to feed them or how to clean them. So that's part of the nurse's job to do that while the baby is still in the hospital. So she teaches the mom the proper way to care for her child. Nurses also work in schools. They take care of sick students. Where else do you think nurses can work? So we know we have a nurse in our school, and if we're sick or we get hurt, maybe at lunchtime or in our classroom, we can go to her and she will see how she can best help us or make us feel better or call our parents to send us home. So as we keep reading, we want to think of where else can nurses work? Nurses wear uniforms. They are called scrubs. Sometimes they wear gloves. Uniforms keep nurses safe from germs. So here they're in a surgical room and they're preparing for surgery. So that is why they're wearing gloves and a special gown and a mask and a hat covering their hair. It's very important that they sanitize and keep the room nice and clean and safe for the patient that is coming in. As you'll see, their scrubs are their uniform. So they're kind of our particular colors like that blue and green that we've seen. And there can also be special patterns. Nurses use special tools. A scale checks weight. A thermometer checks your temperature. So the scale is what we have a picture here on the right. And a scale, you step on it and it will measure your weight. You will see how much pounds you are. A thermometer checks our temperature. So a thermometer normally we'll put under our tongue for a couple of seconds and it will read our body temperature. So it's important to know our weight and our temperature because if our temperature is high, usually that means that we're not feeling good. Why should nurses check your weight? Why do you think it's important that nurses check our weight? Remember, when we go to the doctor's office to make sure that we're healthy, that we're feeling okay, and that we're growing at the right pace. So the nurses take our height and our weight to make sure that we're growing at the rate in which we should. Nurses give people medicine. Sometimes nurses give a pill. Other times nurses give a shot. So here on the left-hand side, we see a photograph of a nurse giving a girl a shot. And I know that they're super painful, and that's sometimes why we don't like going to the doctors. But the shots are to help us feel better or to prevent us from getting sick. So nurses can give us those shots too. Nurses go to school for many years. Then they are ready to help patients. So like we said before, we see these nurses in their scrubs. They look like they're in a class right now studying the skeleton system. The teacher is there holding the skeleton bones. So we could see that in order to be a nurse, you have to do well in school. Nurses work long hours. Caring for others is very important to them. So here are some of our nonfiction features that are found in the back of our book here. So nurses' tools. So these are things that are a part of their uniform or the tools that they use whether in the hospital or in a doctor's office. So they have a tool to check the heartbeat. They have scrubs, which we said is their uniform. A thermometer tells us our body temperature. A scale tells us our weight. And they also wear gloves to protect themselves. So our big vocabulary words for this book were patient, scale, scrubs, and shot. So today we learned how nurses serve an important part in our community. They serve an important role in doctors' offices as well as the hospitals. Nurses are an important part of our community. Today we learned the importance of nurses in our community. Remember to thank all those nurses that are helping everyone out there today.